So this is my post-Setsucon 2013 convention video. To say the least, walking into Setsucon this year, a lot of unknowns. 2012 was not a good year. We walked out of that con, we had problems with our panels. We saw some staff problems, including during our panel. Sunday, but both days were frankly really boring, and even closing ceremonies was really bad in 2012. So this year we had some people not come back that usually travel with our group, which is sad, but what are you going to do? We also had one of our usual group members not come due to work. So we had some new people in the mix. We had some panels accepted, which excited us. That was a big point of concern because pre-con this year there was a lot of question marks. Their website wasn't entirely up to date. Facebook wasn't updated very well. External communication wasn't good for Setsucon 13 for the most part. They were aware of that. They even brought that up during closing ceremonies. We'll have to see what changes they make. I'm hoping they make some good aggressive moves and fix some of these problems, because you have a lot of cons, even small cons, that are really handling PR, especially Facebook, extremely aggressively. But for those of you who might not know, Setsucon is a anime convention in State College, Pennsylvania. It's held at the Penn Stater Hotel and Conference Center. And this was their 7th year. They started in 2007, and several people in our group have actually attended every Setsucon, including myself. It was my first convention, so like I said, it was a little stressful coming in, but let's get right to the business. This was the badge this year. As you can see, they went with a color theme, Color Me This theme this year. I don't know what to tell you about that. The convention booklet, which you've seen a few times, has essentially the same theme here. They had markers in the manga room you could color this stuff in with. It was something. I'm not sure what to say about it. It wasn't exactly something I'd be interested in. But let's whip this sucker open, and it's got all the usual stuff. And the reason I'm opening this to a certain point is to get to the guests, which I know they published in here. You see more color. Woo. The guests this year, much improved guest list from last year. Last year was mostly Kyle Bear, Colleen Klinkenbeard, Uncle Yo, and Grego. And honestly, some of them I don't feel brought their A game. It felt like it just wasn't working. Antipode was also a guest. I've never seen any of their dancing. We'll mention them here in a second. But this year's guest, which is quite exciting, was the return of Todd Habercorn. He's getting up there. He got a real name now. A lot of voice acting. Saw both his panels. I felt he was actually a little off this year. I think I've seen him at better conventions, I saw him at conventions he's been better at, like Zenkai-Con 2011 and Takoshi-Con 2012. Now, new, I'm going to butcher this, Cherami Leigh. I feel bad, I've been butchering her name all weekend. She's got a really good resume, saw her twice, not bad, she was interesting. I'd like to see her at another convention. She had some good stories. I think maybe the surprise was Little Karibo drew some really good crowds. Saw his second QA. It was good. I liked it. He went outside Sunday and then got pelted with snowballs by his fans. Guy was all cool. Uncle Yo, I saw him. He might have been his best performance I've seen him make since I saw him at Anime USA 2011. His skit was tight. I had some people next to me that never saw him before. Really liked him. And there was Antipode, belly dancing group. just not my cup of tea, honestly. They've been at Setsucon a bunch. Now, they did have Dave Lister, who is working on the Otakon video game. I didn't get a chance to see any of his panels, unfortunately. They just did not, time-wise work out. He did seem to have some interesting stuff. There were 3 different DJs for the rave. I was only in the rave for a total of 5 minutes, as is my tradition. Go in, see what's going on, and run away, because there was a lot of other stuff going on. As you can see, the Penn Stater is actually a very nice location. It's actually a really simple con to navigate, as you can see from the map. The food was actually really good. There was food, if you take a look at the map down those steps, they had on-site food, which was good, and you can order in if you wanted to. The food downstairs, they actually had a little grab-and-go area this year, which was really convenient. Had some delicious breakfast downstairs both days. They serve a good breakfast there. You get a lot for, I think it's around $12 I was spending. And, again, the whole facility, the hotel is really nice. You could get a suite or a regular room for the same price. And we ended up in a suite with only 2 people. I actually roomed with a friend of mine who was on staff. And it was nice. Very, very nice. Very nice hotel. It's a very good convention hotel. Let's pull the schedule out here, take a look. Again, the book was a little plain. That was their theme. This, Saturday. Let's pull Saturday up here. Let's see here. Again, I attended Show and Tell with Todd. I thought it was a little... Again, I thought that was a little off. It ended up being more of a voice panel. I'm actually not sure what to call it, what he was doing. I did attend the host... hold on, I did not attend the first Locribo QA. I just couldn't fit that in, because I usually like to get in line early, and I had a really good seat for the host auction. They had a nice skit this year. They went back with a skit, which was very good. The bid seemed a little off, but they brought Todd Habercorn in, and he went for $510. It seems like the last 2 years the bids have been a little down overall, but I got some really nice pictures there. Scrolling down here, I did attend Turning Villains into Heroes for a little while. And again, it was the Leigh, I feel bad, I'm really butchering her name, Cherami panel. It was good. Masquerade was actually very interesting this year. They had someone playing a guitar, they had a Mario skit, they also had some almost like flat silk line performance. It was actually quite good. Masquerade was pretty tight this year. They had the MC Frank, who was back for God knows how many years now, doing his usual funny jokes. And let's see here. Then we're going to actually start getting down to our panels. I'm part of a panels group. We did Tentacles. I'm sorry, no, that was we did Trivia Impossible, which that was the first time we brought that panel. It went okay. We have some work to do. The hour was not very accommodating. But our second panel, D&D, this one right here, did well. We had a decent crowd. We got some good stories, told a few good ones. And, that was about it. Now we'll flip this over here. I thought this year the Sunday schedule was a vast improvement over the last 2 years even. I thought Sunday was weak. A lot of stuff to do here. There was, again, Radio Drama was Todd's panel. It was pretty good. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That one was still a little off, too. 2 days after a con, trying to pull from my memory. It was a little off again. He ended up playing some of his guitar, and that's when I left to get my stuff to the car. Guest autographs had a huge line. That's something they're going to have to take a look at. I'm not sure anyone brought that up. VO to theater to film was, again, that was the Elite Carmi panel. And she did good. She did okay. You can't really complain. She showed up. She told some good stories. Got a lot about her. Good background. Little Kribo's QA was very crowded. It was very entertaining. He's a good guy. He seems very down to earth. Uncle Yo, again, very crowded. Good panel. He was very funny. I thought it was maybe his best skit in a while. Closing ceremonies, actually was a lot better than last year. Some of them attendees who went. I made a suggestion to move it up earlier. I hope they really consider it, because I know a lot of people were leaving 3, 4. Hey, people got to get home. A lot of people have work the next day. I would like to make one more comment. I'm actually going to put this back over. I forgot. We definitely had a lot less problems with our panels this year. They had the equipment in place. We didn't have to bring our own speakers this year, which was nice. Again, a lot smoother staffing this year, at least with the staff we dealt with. And we actually raised some of our concerns with a few staff members, and they were very, very nice about it. It was actually refreshing considering last year. Like I said, last year was rough. Overall, the crowd actually this year, I'd say they did have an attendance increase. I don't have the exact number in front of me. It was over 1,100. We'll have to see where that goes. I believe that was just attendees. And considering the weather was not exactly perfect, they did really well. The guest list was solid. And like I said, the crowd this year was a little different than last year's. It felt a little more active. The only other complaint I like to add here, I thought Dealer's Room and Artist Alley, it's really hard because you don't want to criticize, because these people are coming trying their best to bring items you would like to buy, but my friend who actually didn't attend this year is a big Artist Alley, Dealer's Room aficionado, and it felt like it was the same as every other year, and nothing really has changed, and I'd like to see a little more work out of that, but I'm not sure there's a lot they can do about it, just because of where it is and the time. Overall, I'd have to say this con, I had a good time, much better than last year. I'd like to give it a good rating, but I just can't right now due to the pre-con build-up and the poor external communication. It really bit them. I think they had a good event here, but leading up to it, there was just too much guessing, like if the panels were even accepted, if the schedule, there were some problems with that they are fully aware of. I'm sure they're going to look at that. I hope they look at that. And it was a fair, good convention. It's enough to get us back, because we had a lot of debates in our group if we were going to even return to Setsucon if this year wasn't so good. There was a lot of debates within the group, and there was a lot of stress leading up to the con. I realize staff really busy, got a lot of work to do, but you got to tighten up that web presence, and it's well known. It's brought up at closing. People are aware of that. I'm hoping they can use this positive, good momentum from this year and further, and just put another good year on next year, because this con, it really bounces up and down. They go through a lot of staff. They are a college anime con. I really hope they can turn this into 2 good years. They really need it. We're hoping to get some of the people that didn't come this year back to the con next year. I hope they take everything that was told to them at closing ceremonies. Closing ceremonies was roughly an hour and a half. A lot of good feedback, a lot of back and forth. If they can really apply some of that feedback and just get this information out earlier, maybe get a guest list out earlier, this con could really kind of move back into a more formidable convention, because even tail end of second day of 2011, Sunday was not really that good, and the whole 2012 convention just really was a mess. Very, very poor. I think they've got a base to work on, and I hope they improve, because I love attending conventions, but there's so much you can say. Like I said, I've attended every Setsucon since it was my first convention in 2007. I've attended every one since. I really hope they take some of this positive momentum they got out of this year and move it into next year, because a few good things. Saw a few more photographers around, which I like to take con pictures. There's definitely a few more people around with a little more expensive equipment than you saw last year, which that's a good sign. And they got some PR this year from the local newspaper and the college newspaper, which I realize an anime con might not exactly use traditional PR to get people to attend, but when traditional media is recognizing you, that's a good sign. A lot of cons, even big cons, are having problems with that. So I think my final thoughts are, again, it was a really positive experience. The hotel was good. The event was fair good this year. And I think with a little bit of work, and they could really tighten up that PR, that website, Facebook communication, maybe get some more aggressive staff members out there into the forums, etc., out in the community. I think you can see a lot for this con coming up in the future. Thanks for listening.